Today's call is about professional voiceovers and the process to automate the posting of them. What we're going to be talking about today is putting them into blog posts, attaching them either manually or automatically through our software SAAS. Now, this is not a sales call about SAAS. This is more of, I guess, a sales call about 11 Labs. So let me get started here and give you a little bit of background of where we're going with all this. Is I have been doing text to voice. In fact, I was early on in text to voice, and a few of y'all on the call may have bought some products that I did with Nelson and Precious 4 years ago. I was one of the trainers on their course about how to do text to voice. And back in the early era, I say early era, 4 years ago, we were having to put commas and spaces and a couple of line breaks to get the voices right. And they still sounded like a computer-generated voice. Things have changed drastically over the last 4 years. There are products on AppSumo that I bought that are 3 steps ahead of what I originally learned how to do 4 years ago. They're about $79, and I think one is called Lovo. And I'm sure everybody on the call has bought at least 1 or 2 of them off AppSumo, or you probably have the subscription. Those are from Google, Microsoft, and there's a couple other labs out there that did this. And they made the voices from computer algorithms. So that was the first iteration. The second iteration is speech synthesis, taking somebody's voice, breaking it down to the basic components, and using that person's voice to reconstruct it on text. So it's not necessarily using a computer, it's using somebody's voice that has been synthesized for the article or for the summary that you're wanting to speak. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's the second generation. Some people call it the third generation. It is scary because you can recreate just about anybody's voice online. And it will sound, based on the number of recordings you send to 11 Labs, is how the quality that it comes out with. But it is a very good, lifelike voice that you can hear. So we're going to be looking at a couple of voices today, but we're going to get into the strategy of why we do this and the psychology. This is a sneaky trick that I'm going to show you today. So let's get started here. Tools we're going to be using today, 11 Labs. Why are we using 11 Labs? Well, it's still in beta, but out of 20 different text-to-voice software that I've seen, it actually has an API that works. So you could send it text through an API, you can get it back. You can actually select the voice that you want to use in the API, and then it comes back and it sounds really, really good. And it's fairly quick. You know, within a couple of minutes, you can get a really good voice on a summary. If you're going to do the full article, it may take 5 minutes. 11 Labs has a free version. They have a minimal paid version, which is $5 a month. And then they have I guess the next level is $22 a month, and then they go up from there. So I'll just subscription. I'm at the $22 level. You get 100,000 characters. You can burn through characters really quick if you're doing full art. So we're going to go into more about the 11 Labs and everything else in just a few minutes when I get into the demo part of it. Now, how do you get voice samples? If you want something from Matthew McConaughey or Tony Stark or Darth Vader, you can pull it off of YouTube, you can pull it off Audible. And the way I do it is I just do a screen recording with Camtasia, and then I save the MP3, and that's the MP3 that I throw up to Audible. And I'll show you an example of how we do that. Then we're going to use the tool SAAS. Now, you can do this manually with 11 Labs. A couple extra steps to get there, but we are automating everything with AI Masher. So if you have an API token from 11 Labs, you can put it into your AI Masher account. And if you don't have AI Masher now, we have a beta offer that closes tonight. We're going to close beta down in about 3 to 4 weeks. We're opening a public version. It will be a subscription basis, and we've got 3 different levels. The beta version, if you join now, it's a lifetime deal, and you get the agency, you get the premium, top of line, everything that we have offered. So in about 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to go public. No more betas, no more lifetime deals, but it will be an affordable monthly subscription. So you'll add your 11 Labs into AI Masher, and then from there, we'll do the automation for you. So with that said, let's dive deep into how you're going to use these. So you can use a good voiceover as a blog post intro. That's what we're using them for. The other one is you could do a social teaser. You could either upload the audio straight into Facebook or Twitter or one of these other social media platforms that you use, or you could put an image or several images behind it and make it into a little short video. Use it for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or go back into Facebook with it. Podcast. This is a great way if you want to turn your blog post into a podcast. You can create some great voiceover work that you can use, and then those MP3s go straight into Spotify or iTunes, whatever you have set up. There's some podcast companies that I've used in the past that we'll have another Geek Out Friday about doing automated podcasts. But this is a great way to bring traffic in for people that want to listen to your website, basically. Video voice tracks. You can use this for YouTube. You'll have a voice track that you can use in InVideo, any of these video makers. Drop your voice in there, put videos, put images, and you can create a really nice video with it. And I'm talking specifically about the speech synthesized voices. So we're not even going into the computer stuff, the low end. We're talking professional voiceovers that you would actually pay an actor to read this. So this is the quality that we're going to be exploring today. Now, here is the psychology behind it. Voices, narration voices, when done right, they are a vocal fingerprint. So just like fingerprints, they're unique sort of voices that we hear. Our brain can remember and recognize hundreds of individual voices creating basically a vocal fingerprint in our brain. Now, based on the time of your life, the generation that you came from, you will have, with certain voices, you will have an emotional connection. So voices, they attach to emotions. So keep this in mind, because we're going to take this one step further. It's why we may feel happiness, or why you hear a loved one's voice and you instantly recognize it, and even a sense of dread when hearing an angry tone. Here's the thing. Voices trigger memories. Voices don't just trigger the emotional part, but they can trigger memories in your mind. Hearing a familiar voice can bring back a flood of memories, as they say here, related to that person or the time and generation that you heard that. Where that might come in is when you were listening, you were a teenager or you're a young adult, you're listening to a narrator, you're listening to a podcast, or you're listening to somebody that you trust, that you like, and you're listening to them frequently. Well, over the years, that voice never left your mind. That memory never left your mind. So we're going to attach voices to memories to trust. Very sneaky trick for marketing. When you can have somebody trust your site before they've even read a single word, you've almost got the sale made, or at least the clicks are going to increase and the engagement is going to increase. So here is how you match up with your demographics. Once you know your marketing demographics, Our RSSmasher, I'll give you a little secret, it's age 45 to 60 or 65. We also have a small group from 25 to 35. So Wayne and I have found trusted voices that are what we grew up with. And I would say, Wayne, give me a couple that you grew up with that are trusted voices in your mind already, that if you hear them, you smile and go, oh, I trust this guy.
David Attenborough.
And I'm getting chats coming across here too. Morgan Freeman, Paul Harvey.
Yeah, Stephen Fry.
Damon Nelson's voice. Yep. Wayne Atkinson. Yep. Yeah, I get a lot of Paul Harvey. I'm glad y'all mentioned Paul Harvey. This is a trusted voice for our marketing demographics. I was really excited when I found something on 11 Labs that said, this is from an American male old Paul Harvey style. So we're going to get into this, but this sounds like, in fact, I'll drag it down here. This is from 11 Labs. So we're going to, in just a few minutes, I'm going to talk about this, but they have a Paul Harvey style already built in there for you. But all these other voices, so if you have a 30-year-old marketing demographic, you would want to match up something maybe 10 years ago. You're trying to hit that narrator in the zone between when they were 16 to about 25 years old, a trusted voice that's stuck in their mind. So ask your audience, what's the most famous radio broadcaster you can think of? I mean, it could be, you pull narrators from the 90s, pull narrators from the early 2000s. So you can find voices that you can pair up with this voiceover effect from 11 Labs. Walter Cronkite, excellent one. We got some good ones coming in here. So yeah, these are trusted voices. I don't know if I would use Donald Trump or President Obama or any of the recent presidents, because half the people will find them trustworthy and the other half won't. So I'm looking for radio narrators, radio broadcasters, somebody that we grew up with. So we've gone past that. They have to have the right message. We have a short attention span, but when it comes to audio, our visual attention span is 3 to 6 seconds long. When it comes to audio, I've read reports, it's anywhere from 45 seconds to 65 seconds. That's the sweet spot. That's where people will listen to that audio up to that point before they'll start fidgeting and scrolling on down the page or looking for other things to do. So that's the message has to be in that sweet spot. So that's about 200 words to do a voiceover intro. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is how do we get that right message in there? And what this does is it triggers an emotional response from your customer, from your visitor, before they even read the content of your blog post. I'm going to give you links. In fact, I'm just going to come over here. So how do we do this? We're going to find or add the right voice in 11 Labs. I have found my sweet spot. I like the Paul Harvey style, and there's a couple other narrators I like. But Wayne added Matthew McConaughey. If he's not the most trustworthy actor, I don't know why Lincoln would hire him if he wasn't the best voice on radio or TV right now. So Matthew McConaughey is a good one to put in there. If you are an audible listener, you may listen to science fiction. There's an author called R.C. Bray. He's a very rough, rusty type of voice, very warm, rusty, but he reads so many books because he is a popular voice. And James Earl Jones, that is a great one. So you want to summarize the post to 200 words. You want to match the voice to the speech to generate the content. Now, if you have a content about history, Paul Harvey is a great one. If you have a content niche about weight loss or fashion tips or makeup design, Paul Harvey's probably not the right one to use. You may want a female voice. So, I don't know, I would think Jamie Lee Curtis, but I wouldn't use that. She doesn't have a distinctive voice. You want a distinctive voice that is memorable. Martha Stewart, Oprah, those would be very distinctive female voices. I think, what was I trying to say? Gilda, and I go back to Saturday Night Live, Gilda Radner. One of those might be a voice that you could use. So match your voice to the topic of your site. That's the matchup that you have to do. But use that same voice throughout. Now, there's another scenario could be, let's say that you have 3 authors on a site. This is a big money site that you're making. Well, these could actually be real people. You could synthesize those 3 authors into 11 Labs and use their voices when they're as a post intro without having to have them sit in front of a recorder and record this, a bunch of times. So there's a lot of great voices out there. So, start thinking in terms of, if 11 Labs doesn't have a voice, it's very easy to find a voice. You want to add it to WordPress when you're publishing, or just after you publish, you can go back and add it. So I want you to go to History of War Online. And I'm going to give you specifically, this is one of my PBNs. I bought this, I think it's got a domain authority of, 21, 22. I'm going to take it up to domain authority of 50, and then I'm going to sell it. This will probably be sold for around anywhere from, I would sell it for probably around $10,000 to $15,000. Once it's completed, I've built in the traffic, I've built in the domain authority, and I've increased it, because this one site, dropping a link in here with the DA50, each link is probably worth $100 to $200 because it is a strong site. This site is, 15 years old. It got dropped. I picked it up in GoDaddy auctions. It's got a value of, $1,500 right now. But I have been dropping ZimWriter and ScaleNote host in here. My VA is coming in and cleaning up everything. So let's go into, I'm going to go into World War II. And you may have to, forgive me for the images. I used just an image pack of World War II. So some of the images don't match. We're fixing that. Let's see here. I'm looking for a pillar post that I did. There we go. Most decisive battles of World War II. Here is that voiceover. It is an intro. It's only a minute long, but I've got a table of contents, a short summary. I think this article is about, this is a Surfer AI article, guys, if you wonder where it came from. It scored on Surfer, 92, which is higher than everybody else's. So I'm going to put a voiceover in here.
World War II, decisive battles that shaped history. In this article, we'll be exploring the key turning points of World War II. From the Siberian front lines to the vast Pacific Ocean, these battles defined the war and changed the course of history. We'll discuss 3 major...
Hopefully y'all all recognize that's Paul Harvey. That's 11 Labs. I summarized this entire article. So I've got a table of contents, a short summary. This is a 5,000 word article. But what happens, and I'm guilty of it too, is I've already started seeing on some timelines that I'm watching of people visiting the site, they will play this. And as this is going, they will let it run and they start scrolling. So you've got a minute for them scrolling down the page. They're going to look at images. They're going to look at titles. And some of them are going to stop and read. I got outbound links built in. So this is going to .orgs, EDUs, and wikis. And it's tied, it is a nice article. In fact, I'm really surprised. People complain it's $29 for Surfer AI. I bought a whole package of them, so it got it down to about $18. If I was to sit down and write this, and I'm a history buff, I to get this quality would take me a couple of weeks working on it. You know, I wouldn't work on it 8 hours a day, but this is something that for the $18 or even the $29 I pay for it, I would do that again and again over. So it is definitely worth the Surfer AI as your pillar post. You don't want to do Surfer AI for your entire article, but I'm building content hubs with ZimWriter. So ZimWriter, using Link Whisper, is going to AI Masher. I use 11 Labs occasionally in there to do a voiceover. I'm not going to do voiceovers on every one, but then I backlink into this pillar post. So all my World War II battles I did inside of ZimWriter. I simply went over to chat, and just so y'all can follow along with what I've been doing here. And U.S. military, let's see, World War II battles. So I may have shown this before, but I used my prompts to get keywords. So I got the keywords, and there's a description. In fact, this is what I typed in. You're an SEO expert. And this is actually, I use somebody else's prompt right here. But I got keywords, and then I've got a little short description of it. Then I come down here, and I used the David Ogilvy trick. I converted them into titles, and then I converted the subtitle into a short description. So I took this entire, just cleaned it up right there. So I took this and I copied it. I put it into ZimWriter in the bulk blog writer. The reason I did that is this is the title I'm going to send to it. The bulk blog writer does a far better job if it has this attached to the title. The longer the title, the more descriptive the title, the better the article would be on it. Then when it comes into text, it's sitting on my computer. I come into the text file and I just delete that part. So it's going to be just the title. And then I import all this text into AI Masher, add images, enhance it, and then kick it out. So this round trip from once I post this into bulk blog writer, I write my blogs, I come in the next morning, I adjust the text, pull it into AI Masher. 10 minutes later, it's sitting inside of a website. So that's one of the reasons we built AI Masher. But this is not about AI Masher. This is about 11 Labs. So inside the article reinventor, this is part of, you have this available now. So the article, you would put the article right here. You get the article, we're going to scrape it. And then we're going to come down and we're going to clean it up and get rid of all the ads and everything else. And then we're going to rewrite the text in a format that is more of like a TMZ format, a Fox News. So we're actually converting the article and then we're summarizing. This is the long form if you want to start with the URL. But most of y'all have this and you're importing the article. So you've imported the article, you've done ZimWriter. If you're importing those, you put the group and it's History of War Online. Remove title, enhance during import, and then I come and choose my media pack. I'm going to do World War II history, add a featured, extra, video, browse, and then I would pull my ZimWriter output. Now, I don't have any, let's see. This is Vicksburg. I'll go ahead and do Gettysburg, the Great Turning Point. Now, this is not World War II, but I'm just showing you an example here. And then I would hit import. It enhanced it. Then I'd come in, go to my articles. Now, Gettysburg, the Great Turning Point. Now, I know I've got some World War II in Gettysburg. I don't want to use those, so I'll rotate the images. But I come down here to edit. You see, this is, I think it would have been a different war had we had all the tanks and airplanes. But what I want to do is I want to summarize this battle. So I'm going to come down here to the very bottom, and you've got your choices. We're going to be adding more templates, but I'm going to do it like in a voiceover speechwriter style, because I'm going to use Paul Harvey to narrate this. Create the summary. Now, I'm going to clean this up just because I know Paul Harvey, he needs some breaths. So I'm just going to come in here and maybe put a couple of line breaks in here in between sentences. There we go. And a couple more. And you may not want all this, so you can edit it at this point. And let's come down here. I think I'm just about now I'm going to make a better conclusion, and we may actually program this in, but join us. We discover, let's come back up here to the title. I want to see what my title is. Gettysburg, the turning point. So I'm going to have Paul Harvey give us a call to action here. He's telling us what to do now. Now, I'm done here, so I'm going to pick my voices. Now, you notice I even have Patrick Stewart in here, but I'm going to use the old man, Paul Harvey, and create audio. While that's doing that, I'm going to come over here and grab Gettysburg battle. Somebody the other day said that we're ripping off Google. This is how I do it, is I go into images. All of our setups are off Creative Commons. So there is the Battle of Gettysburg. This is a Creative Commons. So I'm going to open this image in a new tab. You're seeing exactly what I do on my blog post. Copy that image and come back here to AI Masher. And I'm just going to go up and there's the article right there. Let's add an image because this is going to be my featured image. Paste that link in there. At least that first image will be fine. So now we have a voiceover, and we save this voiceover to our database. So we're going to store it for you, and we put the player in the HTML for you. What that does is you don't have to go in and upload it yourself. You don't have a memory issue because all it is just a player. And let's do this. Is once I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and post this over. So you can see what it sounds like. But once we generate this voice, we have an MP3. So you can save this MP3 and use it for other things if you want. And we're also going to be storing it right here. So you have the MP3, and I'm just going to come up here and play this for you.
The Battle of Gettysburg, fought from July 1st to 3, 1863, was a pivotal moment in the American Civil War and symbolized the struggle for freedom and democracy. The Union's victory at Gettysburg served as a turning point in the war and brought forth a renewed sense of unity and purpose. The strategic importance of Gettysburg, with its transportation hub and advantageous terrain, allowed the Union to mount a tenacious defense against the Confederate onslaught. The 3 days of fierce fighting resulted in massive casualties for both sides. On the first day, initial clashes set the stage for the intense and bloody combat that followed. The second day witnessed intense combat, with Union forces defending their positions and repelling Confederate advances. On the third day, Confederate General Robert E. Lee ordered a daring assault known as Pickett's Charge, which ultimately led to a crushing defeat for the Southern forces. The aftermath of the battle significantly shaped the trajectory of the war, with waning Confederate hopes and a bolstered Union spirit. President Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, delivered 4 months after the battle, remains an enduring testament to the sacrifices made for freedom and democracy. Join us as we discover the Gettysburg, the great turning point.
Give me a thumbs up or a yes if you like that. I know it was off the speaker. Yeah, I see a few yeses coming in. Guys, y'all can do this too. That's the beauty about this. This is ready to go in. So I'm going to go in and come down here and just hit finish. And now it's in my table. You notice it hasn't been posted yet. So I'm going to post it. And it will take a couple of minutes to post over.
David, did you click update?
I don't think I did. Let's go back in and edit it. I got that in there, but it didn't get that.
Yeah, we when we do the audio, we update it for you in case you forget. But you changed an image. It was a URL. You didn't upload it. It should still be in your. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a good example of when to hit the update button. Wayne, I'm glad you caught me there.
There you go.
Now let's try this. I'm using the fast scroller. I hope that doesn't make anybody dizzy here. Gettysburg, the Great Turning Point. And we're going to come down here to WordPress. History of War Online. I want to go to American Civil War. Post now. We set it to post. And you should be able to see this in just a minute here. Wayne, any questions at this point?
Yeah, we've got a few. What did you use to create the subtitles? There you go.
Yep.
Some that I answered on the questions. A few of you mentioned other tools. We've looked at lots. We've looked at the prices as well, and the superiority of their API, and we put all that together, and 11 Labs came out on top.
Yep. And guys, we're always looking for free options. They do have a free option with 10,000 characters. I think that's going to get you, if you're doing 200 words in a summary, it's probably going to get you 2 or 3 posts before you run out of credit. So you can at least try it. That's the beauty about it. Let's see. If there is another speech synthesizer out there that has an API that works effectively and you would like for us to add it, put it in the roadmap or put a support ticket in, let Wayne take a look at it. We're not opposed to having several different voiceovers. I've got 4 years of experience doing this text-to-speech conversion. I've seen them all. This is by far the best. Let's check this one more time and see if we got it posted. There's the featured image. There's the article.
The Battle of Gettysburg, fought from July.
And if you notice, as the voiceover was going, the summary hit all these articles going across. The importance of Gettysburg, the forces, day 1, day 2, day 3, the Pickett's charge. So as I'm scrolling down, the summary is kind of matching up because we did it in the style of a speechwriter summarizing, writing it for a narrator. And of course, I've got to come in and change all these images. It's bugging me right now. Frequently asked questions, conclusion. Very nice article. And now we have Paul Harvey giving us an intro into it. So I showed you how we're doing it on SAAS. You just got to go into your integrations, add your 11 Labs ID, put that up there, hit update, and get voices. How do you get your voices in here? And you can change, if you'll notice, is Gettysburg. Listen to this article. This is just a little text that you can put in here. You can put whatever you want, and you define it right here. So anytime I use Paul Harvey, I say, listen to this article. I could say, let's see, Paul Harvey, listen to this article as read by the voice of Paul Harvey. So however you want to do it. Wayne, can you send me a link or put it in the webinar chat for some that you've done with Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
And then David Attenborough?
Yeah.
Just put it to everyone. Yeah. So this is, it's really nice. So let's go into 11 Labs. Now, I'm going to give you a little trick of how do you find good voices? Well, I'm going to go in speech synthesis. This is how you build them. So you choose your voice. You can choose the voice setting, stability, more variable, more stable. I just left this at the default. Here's the Paul Harvey style. And you see they have a lot of voices in here. Or you can add a voice. Now text. You can put your summary direct in here. If you don't have Article 4 SAAS yet, you want to do it yourself, just put your summary right in here. What I do to test mine is I use the Gettysburg Address. And then the other speech I use is from Independence Day, where Bill Pullman, the President of the United States, I use this just for fun. So I'm going to test it.
In less than an hour, aircrafts from here will join others from around the world, and you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all.
So if you've watched Independence Day, you knew that speech was pretty powerful and moving. So I'll use that or Gettysburg. But what I'm doing is I put this in there to test my voices. So I will come in here and go, here's Patrick Stewart.
In less than an hour, aircrafts from here will join others from around the world, and you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word.
Now, I didn't have a very good recording from Patrick Stewart. I pulled it off of Audible. I should have pulled it off YouTube. Yep. The reason the voiceover is not coming across is because it's coming out of my speaker up to my microphone. So if you're wanting to hear the true, just click on any of the links here that he's given us. So I like the one with Matthew McConaughey. Now, I'm going to show you a trick. How do you get a voice in here? Let's go to Voice Lab. Add a generative or clone voice. You click that. Instant voice cloning right here. You can add a voice from the community. There's some really good ones in here. Professional voice cloning. This is, it's not even available right now, but instant voice cloning should contain one speaker and over 1 minute long and not contain background noise. Now, this is where you would put in somebody's voice. R.C. Bray. Now, I told you earlier, I pulled things off of Audible. So I did Audible and typed in R.C. Bray. I know he's a. So I'm going to come over here to sample.
Gibbs lay bellywise over the camper's roof, clinging fast with his left hand while struggling to aim the Model 94 with his right. He ground his teeth, feeling the.
So I got 5 minutes of R.C. Bray narrating this book here. And again, you can just click on R.C. Bray. Let's see. I think Oprah's in here. If you wanted Oprah Winfrey as the narrator. Now this says full cast, so she'll be blended in. Let's see. I want just her.
Hello, my name is Oprah. I just want to talk to you about your book. And
so that's how you would get her voice on there.
Gave me money to put in the cigar box. My mother signed a few books.
You would turn this on, turn your Camtasia on or your screen recorder, but you record the computer audio. Turn off your microphone, record the computer audio. Then you save just the MP3. So that's how you get those type of voices. And then what you do is you come over here to 11 Labs and you upload those voices. Now let me see if I can find R.C. Bray just so you can see an example. Let's see if I got it in here. I may not be able to instantly pull this up. There, let's see, R.C. Bray. There we go. Here's an MP3. So I'm going to drop it right in there. And then you can put a description. This is just more for you, R.C. Bray, narrator. Hereby confirmed. Now, read this. I'm not an attorney. I can't advise you on any of this. So that's something that you would have to work through, whether or not you want to use somebody's voice without permission. What we have determined is Wayne and I will say in the description, remember when we came back over here to the integrations? Listen to summarized in the voice of R.C. Bray. So that's what we're using with ours. We're not saying it's R.C. Bray reading it. We're just saying it's the voice of, or you could put in the voice similar to R.C.
I've got a few that say read by, but we've changed it now to do what you're demoing now.
Yeah. So if you're uncomfortable with copyright issues, just put voice similar to R.C. Bray or voice similar to Matthew McConaughey, or completely take it out and don't let anybody know who it is and let them just guess. And that's the way that I do on some of mine. Is I don't even put who it is in there. So that's just some tips on how to do it. Let's see how we're coming along here.
There's a question which is quite apt at the moment. Can you change the voice slightly in Audible or similar to get around this? What you can do is once you've uploaded it into 11 Labs, you can tweak it slightly so that it's a little bit different. You can move the sliders so that you can decide whether it's a little bit out there or a little bit, slower, faster. You can mess with it slightly so it sounds like him, but not quite. If that's what you want to do.
And I've gone into some of these, like this is American Male Narrator. This is 11 voices. So I'm going to use this, and let's just go ahead and I'll put Gettysburg in there. And when generate, this is R.C. Bray.
407 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We come to dedicate a portion of it as a final resting place for those who died here, that the nation might live. This we may in all propriety do.
So you can see, you can pick out different voices and try them out. This is the one that we just added. I'm just going to make it a little bit shorter.
Close your download at the bottom and you'll be able to see the speech.
The play button, yeah.
Yeah.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
This is great. So I like this one. I may use it in some of the other websites that I have, but this is a really, really good one, I think. So it's easy. Just you can either use YouTube or Audible to get good samples. The reason I like Audible is these are professionally audio mastered, so that it's the highest quality audio from Oprah Winfrey in here, versus YouTube would maybe be an interview and the soundtrack is not mastered or tuned up. Again, you can pick any author that you want in here. So this is one trick to get a sample. The other is YouTube or any video player that you have. Peter asked, can you change the voice slightly in Audible or similar to get around this? Yes. When you're in Camtasia, let's see if I can bring up Camtasia. What I just did with Camtasia. Okay, here we go. And let's see if I can bring up just the one from recent projects.
In 11 Labs, you can drop one of the drop downs and you've got sliders so you can mess about with it.
Case study. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the recent R.C. Bray, but yeah, you can. Let's find a short one here. This is just an example. This is actually a training video I did for somebody here. But yeah, you can do it here in Camtasia. You would choose the audio part right here, and you can speed it up. And I would just come over here and go more audio effects, clip speed. put that in there. Properties, clip speed. You can change this to like 1.1, 110%, and just hit enter. And it shortens it and it makes it a little bit squeaky.
This gives you the ability to connect SAAS to RSSmasher.
That's 1.5.
RSSmasher to add anchor text.
And there's Audible tools that I edit everything in Audiate. So you can change the tone, the frequency, and everything inside of there. And what Wayne was saying is probably the easier way than me showing you that is come over here to 11 Labs and voice settings is change this. So make it more variable. And let's turn that down here. Now let's hit generate.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
I didn't change it that much, but play with these and you can set it to the default part up here. I don't want to do that. I want to use the original. So anyway, you have some variations that you can make right there. I showed you 11 Labs. You get your API, your profile, and there's your API key. You copy that, and then you'll paste it into SAAS right in here, hit update, get voices. So it's really that easy. Hopefully everybody will be using their free version by the end of the day. And again, you can add voices real easy. Click this button, add your own voice. There's my RC Bray. Go ahead, Wayne.
Someone asked about if you can create voices in the free version. You can do 3.
Yeah.
You can create 3 voices in the free version, and then it goes to 10, and then it goes up from there.
Yeah, I think Wayne and I are both on the $22 version. We're on the creator version. Here's limits. So you can do 3 custom voices here. You do 10 with the $5 a month. And this may be all that you'll ever need is the $5 a month. We're here because we're testing everything. It looks, I don't know if you'll ever need to hear, and we certainly are not going to be up in this level. But if you're doing a book or a podcast, you may be at this level right here because this is about 10 hours of generated audio per month. This is about 2 hours. That's why we're doing summaries versus the full-blown version. And last thing is on SAAS, when you're generating these articles, you're coming in here, you're generating them. So I hit edit. There's something I want you to make sure you check on. When you create the summary, you're going to get a 200-word article right here. Summaries are going to give you about 200 plus or minus 50. If you don't summarize and you want the entire full article, excluding subheadings, you can do that. You put your voice in here. It'd be American Male Narrator. If I create audio, this was 600 credits. This is going to cost me probably 10,000 credits, and I've got 30,000 for the month. So just be careful if you're using full article. We defaulted it to summary. You don't want to burn up your credits, but if you're doing a full blog or a podcast or anything like that, you'll be using full article down here. Let's answer questions. We gave you a lot of stuff here. The gist of it is turn your articles, put a clip in here, and by doing it with SAAS, it's very easy to do is you just stick it in there. Somebody asked me the other day, how do I do it if you don't have SAAS? Well, let me just show you. I think I closed that one window. This is one that he generated the MP3. So I'm going to come down here to edit. He generated the MP3, but he didn't publish the article. So I'm going to copy that link address. I'm going to come in here, go to know if he's published it yet. Let's see. Dashboard. I'll show you how to manually input one if you're just using 11 Labs. Over here, post.
Don asks, does the audio player clip remain in the article if you send the completed article over to RSSmasher? Yes. That's how I do it. I send them across to RSSmasher.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're going to stay in there. I'm going to edit this. I don't think we had a... No, we didn't.
It's another reason why we look after the MP3 for you. We use our own online storage so that the HTML goes over and then it just picks up the MP3 from wherever we left it.
And I'm in the classic editor. It's /audio and insert from URL, paste the URL in there. And there we go. And then you hit update. It's pretty easy to put it in, but if your file size is for the audio clip is, let's say it's 0.5 meg, if you put 20 or 30 of those into your limited memory, you're going to run out of memory on your WordPress. That's why we host them for you. Peter, I don't know anything about ZimWriter adding YouTube transcripts. I've been focused on getting this ready. It would be nice if they add the YouTube video transcripts. This is just my personal experience with video transcripts. YouTube does best effort to do transcripts. That means that my Texas slang, sometimes Google misses the boat. I may say AI masher, and it will translate it as acorn masher, alien mash. It's going to do best efforts, but it is not perfect. You're going to be spending time looking at that video transcript to see what it messed up. It can put some words in there that you probably wouldn't say yourself. Take that with a grain of salt. I move all my stuff from Camtasia to Audiate. I clean up and Audiate. I take the ands, ahs, and buts out of this webinar, and I clean up the wording, and I remove spaces. So I spend about an hour and a half getting this replay ready to go over. Audiate is from TechSmith, and they do a really good job of transcriptions. It's scary to see how bad they screw up with my voice. There are some voices that transcribe really well. My voice does not transcribe very well. If that's the update, great. Be cautious of using it straight into a blog post.
Can you do a quick 5-minute walkthrough of AI Masher, just like the main features?
Yeah.
But for those of you, obviously we're on Geek Out Friday, so you're all in Geek Out Fridays. There's a good recording which we did end of June. You can go back and watch that. I mean, that's an in-depth explanation of what's going on as well.
It's AI Masher beta. Here it is on 6.2. I'll share this clip here, copy, and we'll just put it in here. If you're not familiar with us, and it looks like probably most of you are familiar with our beta process, what we do with beta is we have the program partially built or almost built, and we've got a good roadmap of what we think, but we want people testing it out, debugging it, helping us with it. And in return, we give them a lifetime deal. They get the agency package. They get everything that Wayne and I get. You never have to pay for it again. Now, in the case of AI Masher, you still have to get your own OpenAI account, which if you got ZimWriter, you got OpenAI. You need to put Scrape Owl in there if you want to do some scraping, and put 11 Labs in there if you want to do that. So you'll have to put your integrations in there, but we're going to go out publicly and to the retail and sell a standard, pro, and agency. So what's included with standard? Basically with standard, they're going to get the reinventor and the publisher, and that's all they're going to get, and media mixer. The publisher is so you can import articles from other AI writers and enhance the article coming in. You can put, with our media mixer, you can have media packs. And our media packs have EXIF information. We have shared media, and we've got 192 shared media packs in here. So if you got something about cooking, you can come down here and I guess you can view it. But we've got, this one has 51 items in it. So it's got some really good cooking pictures in it. I don't think we have any YouTubes in there. But you can make your own. And we show how to make your own on that video that we just gave. So I make my own. And I've got American Civil War, World War II. And just so you know how it's made is you just come in, we allow you to put in your own keyword set. So in fact, let me do this. I'm gonna create a media pack for, we're working on the Vietnam War. So I've got some blog posts that are being created in Zim right now, Vietnam War, and now I need a keyword group to do the EXIF information. So I'm not going to start with the actual media pack. I'm going to start on my media mixer. I would come in keyword groups. I'm going to be very lazy about it and very fast. Put in my group name. So I'm going to make a keyword group called Vietnam War. Here's my suggestions. I'm going to go let Bing give me a first level, second level, and hit update. I can come over here to keywords everywhere. And I know somebody said they're having some issues with keywords everywhere. I can relate. Go keywords everywhere, trending keywords. I'm going to copy those trending keywords. Come over here to SAAS, paste them in. I'm going to parse it. I'm going to get rid of all the junk and hit update. Now we don't copy duplicates in there. So we've got right now about 65 keywords that we're going to be using as EXIF information in the photos. Hit update, finish. Come back down here and we're going to do media mixer, media packs, and oops. I'm going to use the media pack I just created. It's probably down here in the V's. Click update. Now, I can import, if I've got a bunch of images already, I can import them. I browse here and I would maybe do like Canva and do some Vietnam War, but I'm going to be very fast, lazy about it. I'm going to do search by keyword Vietnam War. You put in your Google developer API in here and we show you how. There's some training on how to do that. And I'm just going to do large. Here's some Vietnam War images. These all look good. Add images to pack.
Because we're bringing the images down. We're using the keywords to put EXIF into them, and then we're uploading them to our image store for you.
And sometimes if you just change the size, you're going to get a whole bunch of different images in here. I know what those were in there already. So I think I may have a duplicate here. So if you don't want it going in, just uncheck them. So that's probably, it's going to be 17 items. I like to have about 50 images. So I'll change, I'll change the keyword right here. You can go to Pixabay. I don't think there'll be anything on Pixabay about me. Well, yeah, there's some good ones in there. Let me take out the statue, take out that one, take out that one. That's a war memorial. I think this is more, maybe the Korean War. It's a monument. So, yeah, I'd take out a few of them. I don't want that one. Yeah, take out a couple more. So I've got some from Pixabay. I'll add those images. And these are Creative Commons license images and Pixabay images. So now we've got 29 images. Let's go over to videos. We're going to have some videos go down at the bottom. I would not use this one. Use this one right here.
We're going to remove the first one anyway, because the second one is far superior.
Yep. So we're going to scrape YouTube for Vietnam War. I'm going to look for ones that have weird characters. So I'm just going to take some of them out. War songs, I don't know if I really need that. So I'm just doing a very quick Yeah, add videos. So what we have right now is we have a media pack that has 29 images and it looks like maybe 19 videos that we put in there. So if I import anything from any article and I use this media to enhance, it's going to select from this media pack and put the video down at the bottom. So you can get featured image. And I like to enhance as they're coming in. And if I enhance coming in, then everything's just fine. And then I can come in and change them inside the, now Jill mentions Getty will sue me. Now, if Creative Commons license is not, it's available to the public for common use. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, Pixabay is Creative Commons. Google account can be set to the same. Our Google accounts are set to custom search, I think. Yeah. So check is safe search, image rights, not filtered. So as long as you have this checked, you're using Creative Commons right here.
It's the drop down below.
That gives you limited free use or share. We're ready to go. I'm ready to import articles, and I would be importing my Vietnam War articles that come in. As I import them in, I'm going to enhance them. I wanted to add a featured image, extra images, and video. Select the articles, import them, and then they'll be sitting inside of the article publisher. Any of these can be edited. You can add your voiceover if you want, or if you just say, just go ahead and send it. I don't care. I'm going to hit history of that, and you want to send it to WordPress. It's history of war. And this is war in Asia. And post. Okay. That's how easy it is to send. Again, it takes 2 to 3 minutes, and you'll see the posted link in here. So this is AI-Masher. We solved a problem that a lot of people were having. Yeah. So we do like I said, the standard's going to get the reinventor and the publisher. The pro's going to get the content engine, the publisher, and the reinventor. The agency is going to get the blog amplifier. It's going to get everything that you see right here. So the beta team, you get everything that you see right here. The content engine is going to be our bulk article writer. It is here to replace Article Forge. The quality, I hope the quality is as good as ZimWriter, but we're going to be focused on quantity, shorter articles in quantity that we can use as content hub pieces pointing up to the pillar post. ZimWriter articles pointing up to the pillar post. They're probably going to be a little bit higher quality. Over time, our bulk article writer will be a good 500 to 1,000 word article that you can put in one keyword or a keyword cluster from Surfer or Neuron Writer and create a bunch of articles with it.
With the testing that we're doing, I would say they're already better than Article Forge.
Yep. So that's what our goal is. We want to be better than Article Forge right here. Because at times, you need some good articles that they don't have to be 3,000 or 12,000 word doctoral thesis like I do occasionally on ScaleNet. As pillar posts, you need supporting documents, supporting content to build an internal structure. And that's what Article Forge has always been for us. So we're going to replace it. The blog amplifier, if you're not familiar, we're going to have a listicle builder and a helpful content builder that you'll be able to push over to RSSmasher. These bulk articles, you'll also be able to push to RSSmasher. So it's exciting for us because it complements everything that we're doing from RSSmasher, because this right here, the article reinventor, you're doing one URL at a time. We're pairing up RSSmasher to take news feeds, these RSS news feeds, push them through SAAS. You won't even have to get into SAAS from RSSmasher. It will push them into SAAS. It will summarize them. It will curate them as if a TMZ journalist was rewriting the article. It will scrape the RSS feed images. We're not going to use the images from the actual article. It will cite the source for you, and it will post it out as a brand new article, originally imagined from the RSS newsfeed. So we're going to be able to take RSS feeds and completely turn them around. Instead of everybody saying they're duplicate content, which they still rank, to original content that are shorter summaries of news articles. Very, very exciting stuff going on. I'm out of time. Wayne, any other questions?
There was one that asked, how did I do my images on the site? If you've looked at my helloverread.co.uk with some of the voiceovers on and that, you will notice that the images are all going through a theme, but I basically spent time on them and used Midjourney to rebuild them all.
Yep.
So that's a longer time-consuming process. I mean, I've got it down. I can do them pretty quickly, but it's another experiment that we're doing, preempting a certain API, should we say? Say no more.
Yeah. So the hell of a read, is it .co.uk?
Yeah.
This was all from scratch. So we're using our SAAS tool. You're pushing them to RSSmasher first, or just straight from
there? They're originated from a real article. SAAS then converted them, rewrote them, and then they were summarized and voice-overed. But the images I created myself in Midjourney.
This looks really good.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has broken his silence on the Wagner mercenary group rebellion in Russia.
So this is from an article, but it's not the article. It is
correct. Yeah.
Completely new article, and Wayne used the article reinventor. So he put the article from Sun Times or wherever he got it into the article reinventor, scraped it, rewrote it, and summarized it, created an audio, and then once he was done, he pushed it into Article Publisher, and in my articles, he pushed it out. A couple of steps, but it is really a nice article if you want to read it. All these. The clickbait, people are asking about clickbait.
Click the logo at the top and go to the homepage, and then everyone can see the wow factor then.
What are we looking for?
All the images of the articles in one place.
Yeah. So these images are really good. They are clickbait. If you ever wanted to use the term clickbait, this is exactly what clickbait is. A great article just like this. It makes you want to click into it and just to figure out what this is. And then he's got the article.
The catastrophe unfolds. In a tragic turn, eastern India witnessed a devastating rail accident, losing no fewer than 280 lives. The calamity occurred.
So you see, we're practicing what we're preaching here. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this call today. We always get geeky on how, and there's a couple other, how and where do you add pillar posts to a site built by Article Forge? I'm not really understanding the question, but this website here, History of War, is articles are articles, whether they came from Article Forge, SimWriter, ScaleNet, Jasper, Phrase, whatever. I consider pillar post ones that have they're long articles. They thoroughly go through a topic or a subject, and I want to build specific content pieces off of that pillar post. So I have in here the American Civil War. I have the ultimate This is one I wrote on ScaleNet. And I like ScaleNet because it's the poor man's version of Surfer AI. I have a little bit more control of the article, but it's pulling from the SERPs. It's using AI to write the title, the headings and everything, but it does a really good job. This article, I spent almost an hour writing it. I'm a Civil War buff fan, so I enjoy writing, but I wrote, it's 11,000 words. It has a bunch of battles in here. It talks about the start of the Civil War, succession. You know, we got some good images coming in here. Battle of Fort Sumter, and all the ironclads. Very, very nice article. Paul Harvey narrates it for us. But each of these battles, I created a ZimWriter article to further go into the Battle of Shiloh. So I have articles pointing over. If you'll notice, I've got outbound internal links, but I have a bunch of internal. I have a bunch of other posts that point up to this pillar post. All my battles I have separated and let ZimWriter write the content pieces for me. So if I come back into Civil War, you can see all the battles. First Bull Run, Antietam, Day of Reckoning. So there's going to be a couple links in here that's going to point up to the ultimate battle in the section. Day of Battle, I mean, we got maps, we got some more mid-journey stuff that we put in there, tables. So these pieces like this have less competition in ranking. The major battle, the 11,000 word, I'm going to need some help to get on page 1 because I'm competing against the Discover channel, history.net, wikis, .orgs, .edus. But if you go down to the individual battle levels, the individual content pieces have less competition on that particular URL. Now, I am going against, some high-ranking domain authority, but the advantage I have is I can take these and go into social posts. I can go into Q. There's a lot of ways to bring traffic into these sites beyond just organic search. So I'll be doing some social syndication over time with this. And we're putting in about 100 articles and then we leave it. This is a PBN. I'm not going to be there's nothing new coming out on the Civil War. So there's, I'll have my good content pieces in there, but outside of guest posts, I don't think we're going to be adding things next month or the month after. We're going to let all this sit and develop traffic and domain authority. Now, as a PBN, I do go back to who was linking to this domain before I bought it. And I try to redevelop those links. I will do some 301 redirects. I'll even write some articles that are based on what those links were coming in and try to recreate the URL. So I will contact them as well and say, hey, I've got some new articles about Civil War and see if I can get some more links back from them. But that's why when I go to the auctions to buy, I'm looking for ones that already have index pages, that already have backlinks, has some domain authority coming into it. And so I'm starting off full sprint instead of starting off from scratch. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. People have asked how to buy AIMasher, aimasher.com.
Yep. Very easy. Could you post a video or detailed description on the group page? What?
Yeah, I think he means how I did the mid-journey side. Yeah.
We're going to do a Geek Out Friday. We have a style that we use for this particular site, Hell of a Read. We want you to develop your own style, but this is a style that we repeat in mid-journey, and it does a really, really good job.
Some clever little tricks that would be a good Geek Out Friday, because sometimes if you can't get the image to look like the person, there's a little trick I've got that can do a face swap.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what he's done, and we're getting traffic to it now. This was a brand new site, so it had DA was 0, and traffic was 0, and index pages was 0. So we're building this one up. Probably in 3 to 6 months, this will have a good score. This will be also what, we use a lot of this to point back to our other sites. We use our tools. So hopefully y'all understand that we don't build tools just to sell. We build tools because we need them and we use them. So any other questions? I think we answered that one. Yep. Yeah, I love it. Any closing thoughts?
No, not really. Just use what we've shown you today. If you've got AI Masher already, start using the summary and the voiceover, because you're going to get ahead of the other people that aren't doing it. Yeah.
And what I showed you today is so easy to do. Is I'm prepared. After the call, I'm going to probably go into Vietnam War and do a little bit more on the media mix. I'll add some more images in there, but I'm ready to bring in, I've got 10 articles about different battles in Vietnam War sitting on my remote server, and I'll do that, pull in those 10 articles, enhance the articles coming in, and within, I may do 2 or 3 voiceovers with them, but I'll be posting those later today in that history of war, and then I'm done with Vietnam War. And it's pretty easy to do all this. Once you get in the pattern of doing it, is you've got to, get your Zim writers in here, get your media ready, and we'll be spending some more time in Geek Out Fridays going over these workflows. But if you have a question about this, put it into the Geek Out Friday session. If you see a workflow or a strategy that you'd like for us to demonstrate that we've touched on, please use that Facebook group for that. That would help us out. So anyway, thank you for joining us on the call, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.